Alright, welcome once again to this month's show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert. Also remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at ROMI TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro.
So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.
Viewer, welcome to ROMI TV Africa. This is newspaper review, and newspaper review we tackle about stories that made headlines on your local dailies. And today I'm not alone. I'm joined by my fellow guests who are going to help me to analyze the stories that made headline. Remember, this is ROMI TV Africa. You can subscribe to our social media pages. That is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We are also live on ROMI TV Africa. My name is Collins Ochieng. You can follow me on my social media pages as follows. Instagram and Twitter is at Collins_KE, while on Facebook is at Mark Collins Ochieng. So I'm gonna give a chance for my guests to introduce themselves, then we start the business of the day. I'll start with you. Please introduce yourself to the viewers.
So I am Chantel Oriana.
Yes.
And very happy and welcome to be here. And yeah.
Yes. On my far right is also our panelist today, our pundit in terms of news gang. He's also going to introduce himself.
Thank you very much, Mr. Collins, for inviting us to this Good Morning Friday newspaper review, and also in political gang in this set. My name is Dr. Robert Osoro. You can follow me on my social media platforms at Dr. Robert Osoro at ROMI TV Africa. Thank you. Welcome to the show.
Okay. Now, guys, we are going to start with the Standard today, and on the first page of the Standard today, we are going to tackle the newspaper whereby it says that Raila returns, hints ready to lead charge holding Ruto into check. So, according to this story, the story is talking about yesterday, whereby Raila just dated into country. Remember, he was in Zanzibar. He went for a break, for a vacation after the shock, the verdict that was made by the Supreme Court. So yesterday he was invited at the swearing-in ceremony of Abdul Samad Nasir, and we never saw, as usual, he never skipped talking about politics. So yesterday he discussed about the judiciary, citing that they did not commit themselves to serve the Kenyans the way they were supposed to do. So according to Raila, he was blaming the judiciary for giving a wrong verdict, which they did not expect, because he was citing that the election had a malpractice, and we were able to see him spotting at Jose Camargo, the Venezuelan, who he was trying to say that he was involved in bungling the election. He was involved in hacking the results. So I want you guys to give me your sentiments about Raila's return yesterday, talking about the judiciary, and also still throwing some scathing attacks to the IEBC, Independent Boundaries Electoral Commission. What is your take when I start with you, Ariana?
So as we all know, this isn't the first time Raila has come and said that some votes there's been a problem with the voting system overall.
Yes.
So it's not possible for our constitution to keep on repeating the mistake. This is like the 5th time
Yes.
he has vied for that president seat,
Yes.
and he has lost it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's, no offense, but maybe it is a hint
Yeah.
that maybe the people do not want him, and he shouldn't vie for the seat again.
Yes.
So according to me,
Yeah.
the constitution was in the right. The votes, there was no problem with all the counting of votes or all of that, because Uhuru won.
Yes.
And now Ruto won, and
Yes.
it's the people who decided,
Yes.
and he should accept that. He
Yeah.
shouldn't be like he alibiwa votes or something like that. That's
Mm.
not professional.
Okay.
You shouldn't be a sole loser. You should congratulate your opponent. So as per me,
Yeah.
I would maybe tell Raila to, like, accept defeat and accept what the people want, because this is not certain people talking. It's the country trying to address a message that they don't want this current person to be the president at all, because 5 times,
Yes.
that's not a small thing, that's a big deal.
Yes.
So according to me, I think you should just step out and not go back.
Dr. Robert, what is your sentiments concerning Raila jetting back into the country, where he was invited for a luncheon ceremony at Abdullah Hamid Sanir? So
I think
yes. And then just went ahead to attack the judiciary,
yeah.
and the IEBC, saying even they can
I
decide to
remember watching
protest.
his statement saying
Yes.
that he was not ready to make the statement, but he was invited by the governor in Mombasa.
Yes.
He's now the governor.
Yes.
So that he can attend.
Yeah.
Of course, he comes from his party, that's ODM,
Yes.
and from his Azimio la Umoja umbrella.
Yes.
But one of the key things that which was talking is about that it was a shock from what came up from the judiciary,
Yes.
also from IPC, and I heard him before that saying that out of the 9 points, no point that were found that was the irregularities was there, and they said that it is impossible. But again, I think it's time that we need to move on. It's a time that politics has come to an end. Of course, we don't know what he's going to do today, because his meeting is Azimio la Umoja team,
Yeah.
at the same time as Kenya Kwanza, the President of the Republic of Kenya, William Samoei Ruto, is meeting also Kenya Kwanza, of course, talking about the cabinet and all.
Yes.
And we have seen this, I think, where as a country is going through those sentiments that they are making, we are going in a bad way.
Yes.
For instance, people like CS Matiang, the former CS Matiang, they left office, and you see this is a very, very sensitive, the office that they need to leave when someone else has, they have to hand over, but it's like already they have left. Some they are saying that they are waiting someone to come to take over. Some they are saying that as Uhuru got in the office, also it is automatic they get out. And I know that whatever they're doing, some of them are coming from their bosses. That is the party leaders.
Yes.
That's Uhuru and Raila Odinga.
Yes.
So to me, it's a time to move on.
Okay.
Not a time to go back again. Yes, we know that we need democracy. We need to shape up our judiciary, and of course, if you allow me to say, a number of people were saying that as also the Ruto was sworn in, immediately went to State House and appointed the judges. That is, according that he wants to take over the judiciary and all, because also he has his team of 6 people.
Yes.
Because he knows, of course, opposition is going to do a lot. Like right now, it's not going to be in a easy walk.
Yeah.
And you see, as he go to the office, many things are happening at the moment.
Yeah.
The fuel has gone up.
Yes.
People are saying this is the bottom up. Like if you check the fares, like in Nakuru, they have already put them. They have gone by 100 to 200 shillings every area.
Yes.
In a very small area where you are actually, you can walk. They're charging almost 200, 300.
Yeah.
Such a kind of thing. So we need to move on to see how we can tackle all this.
Okay. Moving on to another story on the Standard is about Kenyans feel the heat of increased fuel prices. So this story, it tends to tackle about the repercussion on the increase of fuel that started to bite several industries. county residents, and they are being forced to reduce their budgets. So the story is just trying to talk about the hard times we are going to face after the increase in fuel. Remember today, when you witness on the roads, or when you are able to watch the news, is that there are students who are left stranded in their schools because of lack of vehicles to transport them, and some of these vehicles, or some of these public service vehicles, they were citing that the increase in the cost of fuel is making it hard for them to continue with their business. So some are considering maybe to either increase the fare, of which also the passengers are going to cry for love, or to maybe decide to, to hold a bit, to take a break a bit in terms of continuing that. What is your take concerning this issue of the petroleum increasing in price? Because when you look at right now, the sentiments, the sanctions that we are facing, it's being alleged that it is from the world war between Russia and Ukraine. So they're claiming that petroleum products are coming from there. So because this warfare has been there for long and we don't know when it will come to an end, it has made the product to be scarce. And because we also don't produce ours, we rely on them, whereby we import. So the product has gone high. So we expect the prices of basic commodities to increase because of the factors of production. When I start with you, Oriana, what do you have to say about this increase in the fuel prices? Because also the Kenyans have been there blaming the president-elect, saying that he said very well that when he takes the oath of office, the first thing is going to reduce the price of fuel so that the basic commodities, their prices can go down. But unfortunately it's there, but there's nothing he has done. So far what he has done is he has given subsidy to the fertilizers so that farmers can be able to grow up. But at the moment, we are experiencing a drought, because a time like this, September, October, there's not always that long rainfall for planting season. So what is your take about this increase of fuel prices as far as the basic commodity is also concerned?
So it definitely has affected us in very many ways.
Yes.
People are using more money. The salaries, it's not like they're being increased or something.
Yeah.
There's some people who don't have large salaries.
Yes.
And if the prices have gone up, meaning we need now to change our budget and minimize or use money in a great manner, in a effective manner, that it will be able to balance our needs. Also, it has brought an effect. These days there's a lot of traffic, if you have seen, mostly in Thika Road, because cars are piling up in the petrol stations, and it's causing traffic, so people are not even able to go to their places at the needed time. Yeah.
So I think I echo your sentiments. I like where you're saying that this repercussion has brought us to reality that right now we need to balance in terms of needs.
Yeah.
We need to see maybe things that we can exclude, which are not necessary, and things which we can include, which are necessary. So we can decide to deal away with things that are not necessary, so that we prioritize on the necessary one, because of the hard life, because of the hard repercussions of this increase in fuel. Because at the moment, yes, the fuel have increased, but no salaries have increased. So we are reeling under high cost of living. Robert, what is your take about this increase?
I think my take is that TikTok. You see, we are talking about the fuel, and there are a number of people who are saying that fuel is not important.
Yes.
That at least the foods like unga and other things should be raised in terms of price. But one thing that we are forgetting is that in order this maize to come,
Yes.
the fuel is needed because of the transportation.
Yes.
Another thing, people are forgetting that also in order this maize flour to be is it prepared? How do we call
Processed.
Processed.
Yeah, into flour.
Into flour.
Yes.
Also, fuel is needed.
Yes.
So the fact here remains that the moment fuel prices is high,
Yes.
everything increases in terms of price. But if we are looking at it, prices are not increasing in terms of commodity, in terms of salary. There's no increasement in terms of many things.
Yes.
And any time that the prices increases in terms of all other commodities,
Yeah.
at the same time from the wholesalers also they're increasing. So the gap remains. If you used to sell sugar at 220,
Yes.
and now you are selling 230,
Yeah.
it's not that you are making profit of 10 shillings,
Yeah.
because from where you are getting it, also they have increased.
Yeah.
So that means we must prepare for
The hard times.
the hard times ahead. We have seen a number of things that which the President Ruto had promised.
Yes.
And these things are much impossible to be true, because I heard someone saying that he's dedicating a number of things, like anytime you're commanding, like the judges should be there, they should be there. He should be thinking twice, because anytime you have, either it's your wife, it's a girlfriend, it's your children, you're authoritative,
Yes.
rejection will come out. Like now, Ruto has a very hard times of erecting or appointing the CS and all. That's where the fight is going to come. You see, it is not easier as he thought,
Yeah.
because right now the fuel has gone up, transport is up,
Yes.
maize flour, we are expecting it to go up.
And remember, this hunger bite. I mean, this season alone, the global warming affected us. So
Yeah.
the farmers were not able to plant
To
the crops
harvest,
in
to
time.
plant
Yeah.
and to harvest.
And
That-
to
that-
harvest.
that- that's
Some
why
even died, yeah.
that's why someone was saying that
Yes.
when Ruto was talking about the economy, that bottom up,
Yeah.
maybe meant in other words, and maybe the expectation. You know, sometimes when you are not having something,
Yes.
it is not easier to know what entails. Maybe some of the people who were easy to castigate the former President Uhuru,
Yeah.
people who were ready to say, instead to kunipangia, they should kupanga how they will learn the government, how they will decrease the prices of fuel. But now he's in that seat. So I think this is the time, Ruto, to know that, it's even the other readers now who are coming.
Yeah.
It's not about how you are seeing things. It's until you are sitting in that seat that you realize things are not easy as you thought before.
That's why they say kwa grao vitu ni different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now, what I know,
Yes.
prices are going prices of fuel are going to affect us in a very bad way, and Kenya is going to be left in a very awkward place if the president is not going to move up with speed.
Yes.
And if it's going to be like the opposition leader is going also to take his task
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
then we are going in a dangerous place, because everything will be opposed, everything will be, you see, because at the moment is now Ruto, he has shifted the mind from working,
Yeah.
because the headache is now about the CS, CAS, the PS. That is where he's
And
focusing
implementing
now.
the promises.
And implementing the promises.
Yeah.
And I remember the budget had already been read, that is 2021-22.
Yes, yes,
Now
yes.
we are waiting for 2022,
Yeah,
2023.
Yes.
So my brother,
Yeah.
it's not the way he thought. You know, when we were telling people that let's listen very well what our readers are promising us,
Yes.
people are not ready to learn, people are not ready to go inside to investigate this point. People, you know, we are in a point where people want to hear what they want to hear,
Yes.
not what it should be. People, and our politicians are very nice, because what they are doing,
Yeah.
they are telling us what we want to hear, and that's what is happening. So hard times ahead, we must prepare for it. Yeah.
Thank you for your sentiment. Let's go to the third story before we take a short break. So the third story is about tributes pour in for Baringo Deputy Governor Charles Kipng'ok. So family and friends are still coming to terms with the sudden death of Baringo Deputy Governor Charles Kipng'ok just 3 weeks after his election. He died on Wednesday evening at JKIA in Nairobi as he prepared to board a flight to Mombasa. So the deputy governor is said to have developed breathing difficulties at around 7 p.m. He was pronounced dead by the medical personnel before the plane took off, as the reports indicated. Back in his Kirobon village, residents described Kipng'ok as generous, humble, and visionary leader. We also have the sentiments from the current president, that is William Samoei Ruto. I would like to read it on what he said. This is what he said: "I take this moment with a heavy heart to convey my condolences to the family and children, relatives, friends, and the people of Baringo County and the country. Please remember the heartbroken family in their prayers." It's so unfortunate that the guy has just ascended into office. They have been sworn in. It's almost a month, just 3 weeks before they now take charge. But he died while he was boarding an aeroplane here going to Mombasa for other functions that he was supposed to do. I would say that maybe I would like to relay my condolences to the family, but this is not the first incidents we see leaders dying maybe before maybe getting to somewhere, or before. I don't know if maybe should they maybe always be checked or diagnosed, because this just sudden death is something that I feel like it's something that we can be able to look upon so that we prevent, because right now at the moment there are so many speculations. Okay, they are going to do post-mortem to look at the cause of the disease. Some are saying maybe it was poison, and I don't know what is your sentiments about this illicit reaction that is coming from this death. Is it just something that can occur, or is it something that might be how do we say, might be set up? What do you have to say, Rihanna, as far as this death is concerned? Because you just died on arrival at the airport.
It actually depends. If maybe in the past he had problems with his health, maybe if he had health problems in the past, I wouldn't say it's a setup. But if his past was just a clean slate, now that's another situation actually.
Okay.
But I also send my condolences to the friends and the family.
Yes.
It's hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Robert, what is your take about this sudden death?
It is very unfortunate that he had to die this area. He has not implemented his vision, dreams that he had to support his governor. That now the family, of course, at this moment, whether he was sick before or not, the family will be having that feeling like maybe this is not a normal death. But sometimes it happens because anybody can, everything can fail, anything can happen. And we cannot let the doctors do their part, but the one that who knows more is God. But I send my condolences to the family and friends, and also the people of the county for this sudden death.
Okay. Now our last story, as before we go to the break, is about William Ruto's headache as big names wait in the wing for cabinet jobs. So the story is trying to talk about William Ruto met the Kenya Kwanza leader, and part of the discussion was how he was going to divide the slots, how he was going to distribute the cabinet for various leaders to serve in different capacities. So sources has it that they had a proper meeting, they had a cordial meeting, and they were trying to advise, they were trying to echo, they were trying to give options on who to give this position, on who to give this position. So it's not something easy for him, because remember, during that division, that is where there's always divide, because some people will feel like they were devalued by being given a small docket, some want a big docket, or some maybe they might be left out, because you cannot be able to divide the cake to everybody, including even those who are in opposition that decided to join him. So it's a hard task that waits for Ruto and Gachagua to do. So I want you to give me your sentiments concerning him meeting his leaders, and what as per you, what would you advise him as far as dividing these slots of ministries is concerned? Because we don't want also to see him doing previous mistake of the current regime, because one mistake I would like to say about maybe the outgoing regime is about giving Amina Mohammed that docket of sports. I think she did not deserve. She performed terribly, because I remember even it contributed to one of our world's marathon sprinter, that is Omanyala. He failed because of the issue of to do with the visa
The
card.
visa card.
It's so unfortunate. So I
something
feel like
that can be processed by the
yeah,
government.
immediately. So it's so unfortunate. So I don't know what is your take about this, because
I think
it's not, this is a new government, and
maybe,
personally I would like you to. We don't want him to repeat the same mistakes Uhuru did in his previous regime.
Maybe before
concerning
my
this
colleague gets in, one thing that I could like to say is that let's not appoint people according to our tribe, according to our friendship, according to parties.
Yes.
Let's look for someone that who is
Capable.
rigid and capable of the position that which we give out.
Yes.
That is the only way that will make this nation great. But if we are giving positions because you are in my tribe, because you are in my party, then we are doomed to fail as a nation.
Yes.
We need someone that who is capable, who is able. People like C.S. Matiang, they have served their doctorate very well.
By the way.
Remember, during his tenure, there was not much debt. Let me say that.
Yes.
Look at 2013, Kaiseri, may God rest his soul,
eternal peace.
eternal peace.
Yeah.
How many students in the university that we lost? Look at how many people were dying. But during Matiangi, he was a guy who was very sharp. These nonsense things were not happening like Al-Shabaab and all. Look at people like the CS for education.
Yes,
Magoa.
Yes.
What he has done. Yes, the Matiang created a platform for him.
Yes.
If I was Ruto, I could not look at, politics is about seats.
Yes.
The people know that they are to ride out to Ruto because of anything else. They're looking where they can get what they want. So one thing I could maybe advise, I know maybe might be watching or something else, or people who are close to him, is that this is the time he could go. Maybe if it's Matiang'i, come. If it's Ketel, if it's whoever, he appoints them because he is the president for the whole nation. Whether in politics you are, because even the people,
so
yes.
Let me cut you short a bit. So you're trying to say that Ruto should also retain some of the CSS who performed well in the previous regime. He should consider them to give them the slots.
Yeah, you should consider them. As much as we know there's other people that who needs job.
Yeah.
But are you going to perform?
Yes.
That's number one.
Okay.
If we have someone that who was a performer, why can't us retain that performer in another docket? Because we have seen people like the late Michuki.
Yes.
This is a guy who was a performer. The guy performed in transport.
Streamlined.
Until today. As much as it was rotten.
Yeah.
Transportation was rotten.
Yes.
People like Masharia in transportation, there's nothing they're doing there. If even they go home, it's okay if they are not returned back. Look at people like Mishuki was taken from transportation to environment, something like environment during that time of Kibaki.
Yes.
May God less insult such a people. He did tremendous work also in terms of the environment and all. There was no these nylon papers and all. So let's Ruto check very well the people that is going to appoint in the cabinet secretaries, in the PS, in the CAS, because I know they will help him in terms of achieving, if he wants to achieve.
Yes.
Let this time
he must work with
diversity. What Uhuru did.
Okay.
Yes, on the 50-50 with Ruto and Raila, and Uhuru and Ruto.
Yes.
Of course, Ruto selected the CS, all of them from his home background.
Okay.
But Uhuru went to Nyanza, Coast, he went everywhere, he shared his throats.
Yeah, very well. Yeah.
But those people helped him so much.
Yes.
And I think that's why they remained with him, the people he selected. All the people Ruto selected, I think nobody went to Uhuru. We want to be factual.
Yes.
So that is what will help him. Maybe I will also allow our colleague Chantel to...
What's your advice if right now the president is watching you in terms of dividing, giving slots to the cabinet ministry? What would you advise him?
I won't say much,
Yes.
but I would also like to tell him not to practice nepotism, the favorism of choosing people depending on tribe or blood, because it's not only affecting him, it's affecting the whole country in different ways.
Yes.
We are talking about many people, big population, so he should consider his choices and make the right decision and choose not with the favorism thing, but choose choose according to the ability you see in this person in helping the country.
But do you think maybe if he doesn't pick in terms of loyalty, the people will feel betrayed. They will be like, we supported you, you promised us this. So that's why sometimes he might consider such ways of choosing people who are close to him, people who work with him. Because if he decided to go the other way in terms of not looking at favoritism, then some people will feel betrayed in his government.
But you know, we're all humans. We tend to forgive and we tend to forget. Yes, they will bring an issue, but after they see the fruits that will be bared from his decision, the good fruits, they will forget about it actually, and they'll move on.
Yes, guys, this is ROMI TV Africa. You are watching Newspaper Review. I'm your host, Mark Collins Ochieng. You can follow me on Facebook at Mark Collins Ochieng. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's at Collins_KE. My guests also, as we are going for a break, please remind them your social media pages. This is ROMI TV Africa. Keep watching, keep liking, keep subscribing. Give them yours.
Oriana Chantel, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all Oriana Chantel.
Dr. Robert.
All my social media platforms is Dr.Robert Osoro. Facebook page, YouTube channel, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. Also, don't forget to follow me, like, subscribe, and comment at ROMI TV Africa and Dr. Robert.
So, guys, we are taking a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll be analyzing about the Daily Nation. Keep watching ROMI TV Africa.
Alright, welcome once again to this month's show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert. Also, remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at ROMI TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro.
So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.
Alright, welcome once again to this month's show on
There is power in the name of Jesus. There is power.
I've no time to fight with you. By the word of God, I am you now. In the name of Jesus.
In the name of Jesus. To break every chain, break every chain, break every chain. Break every chain. Let's say it together, there is power. Come on.
Alright, welcome once again to this month's show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert. Also, remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at ROMI TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro.
So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to ROMI TV Africa.
Alright, welcome once again to this month's show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert. Also, remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at ROMI TV Africa at Dr.Robert Osoro.
So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Hi guys, welcome back to ROMI TV Africa. We are now going to tackle the Daily Nation of today. And the first story on the Daily Nation is about parents welcome planned review of CBC, say it will clear grey areas. So this story, I can just give you the some of the insights, some of the analysis a bit, the synopsis of this story. It says that the National Parents Association is on record supporting the new curriculum, but said there were grey areas that needed to be addressed for its success. There has been an outcry from a section of stakeholders in the education sector who are pushing the new government to abolish CBC, and parents and teachers complain that the new model is burdening children and parents with a lot of homework and that it's expensive. So parents have welcomed President William's Ruto move to set up an education reform task force to review the competency-based curriculum, terming it a timely intervention that will clear grey areas. There has been a lot of concern concerning the competency-based curriculum, that is the CBC. It's a new idea, but looking at on an inner angle or deeply, you find that there's a lot that needs to be reformed. And that is why the president-elect decided to form some task force who are going to review the curriculum and try to make correction where it is necessary. Personally, I can say that this curriculum, it was a good idea, but looking at our country as per now, we don't have the capital to set up the schools, because the schools that we are using at the moment, they are schools that were built during the 844 system. Also, in terms of resources, this is a curriculum that requires a lot of resources in terms of practicality. I've seen various videos viral where children are being taught how to swim, and there's no swimming pool. They're just trying to swim on the floor, on the soil, imagine. So this is a curriculum that also requires a lot of resources. Number 3, in terms of manpower, it's a career that you need to employ a lot of people to teach them, to teach the children basic skills, because the teachers we have at the moment, their knowledge of their skills is based on the academic we are trying to, we're trying to fade it away at the moment.
But I think
So
I beg to differ with
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
I've been in US and doing a number of courses.
Yes.
And when we talk about that the CPC was not the right time to, I think we don't have a specific right time for the transformation.
Yes.
What we need as Kenyans and as a nation is just to adapt to the new style, because when we talk about that the government was not prepared, the government gave a period of 1.5 years for CPC to be developed. I'm a PTA parent in one of the high schools, and schools have been given around 3 million to build those schools.
Yes.
1.5, 1.5. I think they need 2 classes. That's junior high school, 1 and 2. But that's it used to be standard 7 and 8, something like 8 and 9. I don't know. But yes, the money that the government gave, it gave money where they are assuming you build in a flat rate place, because we are trying to calculate the calculations and all in school what we can do. We realize that like where we are building us, it has costed us 3.6 million in the school that we are part of the PA, whereby the government had given us 1.5, 1.6 million. But why we did this? I think that money, yes, can be enough for 2 classes because the government had calculated. But to us, we already had a dream as parents and teachers and the whole committee to have our library and some other classes in that area. But when the government came in, we decided that no need to build different classes, and we had the same vision to build other classes, let's put together, let's add our own money from the parents, have another 1.5 million to 2 million plus the one that we were given, to where we will build 2 classes so that we can put another classes on top of the ones that we have been given. And if it's a school that did not have a vision like we had just to build, every school has been given that amount, has been dispersed, and they have received them. And a number of schools, they are built up to certain level. Like where I am, we are already preparing to put some roofs. That means by December, January, when it's starting, we will be ready. One thing that I will say, I had Barasa, the MP for Kimilili, Bungoma County, saying that, you know, as the deputy president said that we are going to put over this CPC thing and all, but the president has given that Ruto is the president, and he has given opportunity to the common Mwananchi to give their views, and I think what they are giving is to put off this thing. These are people who are not serious about children in the future. When anything,
but I would like
listen, when anything is put in place, there are a lot of challenges. Yes. Not every school can have a swimming pool. For instance, we have here at Embakazi Benedict Academy. What they have done, they have built a swimming pool, and they have allowed the public to get in, and public other schools which doesn't have for CPC, they come on a certain fee. They come as a school. They pay a certain fee, then they pass through their children there. Number 3, you see, there's no right time we will wait until we do these things. It is now, of course, through those challenges, I think the government is now going to get in and then help in terms of swimming pools, help in terms of maybe other things that which are needed for these children. Remember, what is happening is what we used to do in our time. We had CPC, but it's only that it was not called CPC. Remember, we used to swim, we used to carry water, we used to cook, but nowadays, because we are town born, all usiguze mtoto wangu, that is why actually we are training them what we used to be trained on competence based systems.
Some exaggerate.
No, okay. You see, when we talk exaggerate, these people or politicians, some of them, they put some nonsense to our mind to take away the sense we have, because we want to hear what we want to hear. Now they know what we want to hear. They are telling us. You see, like the Kenya Kwanza used, like, we're going to slash away the CPC thing because parents are feeling like they have been pardoned. You know, this something is a new thing that they have been brought in to get in. Parents, they feel like, yeah. And then he was saying, we are going, this Katipa, the one, walitaje walikuwa inaletwa. I don't know why I normally forget. He Ruth and Uhuru, they brought, and the judiciary failed it.
Or BBI.
The PPI.
Yes.
The same Ruto. Yeah. He's saying that the PPI was not bad. What was bad? They were not involved. If they were not involved, is it a matter that they could have been involved? Because it's creating the position of Prime Minister, which he promised Mudavadi. The same PPI was talking about that. Is doing of the same. So let's say that these politicians also, they are looking for their jobs. But CPC is there, and the CPC is one of the best systems that which has come. It's only that, you see, just like we created the governors, the senators, we created the women rep. It was difficult when we started. But right now, we have adapted. Everything we have to adapt. Or what you have to say, Chantel?
Actually, okay, the CBC thing, it's a let's say a high class kind of program. I don't know what to call it, program. Curriculum. Yes. So, you know, it's good, but it's high class. We tend to forget that there's some parents that cannot afford a certain amount of the fees. Some are even struggling now. The ones who have not yet, who are not supposed to, not all of them are joined the CBC. Most of them are struggling with the school fees that they have. Na sasa kuna mtoto mwingine who is in the CBC, he needs like a large amount of school fees. We tend to forget, we tend to not remember that there are some of them struggling. So it is a good system, but it's kind of affecting mostly the parents negatively.
Actually, that is what I wanted even to reiterate my point, because even here, from what they quote, that parents across the country were complaining that it is expensive, and they want the tax force to go deep and tell us why the new model is expensive. And there's an example here by a parent who said that when they took the chicken to school, they were asked to fry the gizzards only. Shockingly, the rest of the meat was thrown away. So they are citing was thrown away. So they're citing in terms of the fees, in terms of the resources that is required. You know, okay, government are considering this thing, but in terms of resources, you're the one to provide. Maybe you are being asked to go and take a rabbit to the school. You use it, then again for practical, then you throw it away. So that is what they are time that it is a bit expensive. If maybe government would chip in,
I think,
and give the resources, maybe that one would aid the process. But now with them, they're just giving the capital for building the schools. But in terms of resources, in terms of fee,
now this is where we need to involve the government to get in and provide the resources. Then, like, they took the meat. You know, you are reminding me of the witch doctors, the Waganga, where they tell you go and bring the plaque, and
the plaque.
bring this and this. When you come,
a sack of rice.
Oh guys, we are at ROMI TV Africa. You know, sometimes we have to laugh. Muganga anakura hiyo. Alafu wewe anakuambia Mungu atakuona. You see, teachers should not also use that as a way of feeding themselves. Let the government now, when it comes to that, put a budget for that. Maybe let's assume that on 2022-23 budget, they will put a budget for those CPC schools. That will work, and that's why we need, as Ruto said, that we want to hear the views from the people. Let's also put those views. The government put some amount. If there are some chickens that need to be slaughtered and they are taught practically, that will be okay. Yeah, that's what I will say.
In addition to that, you know, there are some parents who are also complaining that some of the things that the children are being taught in school are not like helpful. Like nizanini, they're like, I took my kid to go and read what's mambo ya swimming and reading. How does I don't want my child I don't want my child to know how to swim. I want my child to know how to read. If it is swimming, I will teach my child myself.
No, but you see, those are what we call actually our children are not taught about their assertiveness. Some have low esteem. And when they are involving, I'm a psychologist by profession, when they involve with each other, they swim together, there's some stressors or there's some depression that can go through such. And we want our children, when they grow up, somebody like me, Robert, imagine I don't know how to swim because I was never taught. But if it was a kind of activities, you know, we used to be left during PE time to go and pray whatever you need. But this time, at least they know this PE. They are trying to be taught about the programming, about the planning of your day, of your work. At least they go and swim. They go and do this. Yesterday, like where we were covering the event about the CPC thing. You see, you saw children can swim, can do what? There are many things. They were flexible of doing things. You know, that flexibility, it helps you in terms of work. Now, people who did maybe accounts, who did maybe economics, who did maybe teaching, if the job ends, they're not able to be flexible to do other things. But that opens the mind of the people to think wider. That if this fails, see, you can do this. That is the reason why. So
if it's not good in terms of classwork,
or if the child is not good in terms of classwork, the child can play football and they can be paid. The child can go swimming because we have swimming competitions and can be paid. The child can go for the golf and can be paid. At least they are trying to bring up many ways. Only that this thing came, as you said, actually, and timely. On the time, because the parents were not prepared. There were seminars were to be made even by the chiefs to be taught. The parents now, because now schools cannot.
Remember there was Corona, they had to close school, so it had to interfere with the curriculum in terms of calendar.
You see, like things are coming up on 2023, but these 3 things are not so bad. I think maybe for a parent wants to know why my child should be trained swimming. I can train. Why my child should be trained this? It's about the assertiveness.
Yes.
and those esteem, low esteems and all, to raise the esteem of a child. Yeah.
Someone like me can understand that, but you tend to forget that there are some parents who are like old-fashioned.
That's what they need to
The
be taught.
traditional parents who believe that their child should go to school not for those other activities,
Extracurricular activities.
yeah,
Yes.
but just to read.
But you see, our parents used to force us. Let me give you an example. When I graduated from school, from high school, I went to college or university. I did sales and marketing. So sales management and marketing. Because of where I used to stay in coastal region, I had to go also for another course in front office management and hotel management because of the job. But later, I also went when in US to do my degree and my master's also in management. But later I sat down when I was grown up. I think I was around 33. I knew that there's something I loved so much, and what was this? Was counsel. People used to come to me, I talk with them, I counsel them. Then I had to go back to Africa, Nazareth,
Yes.
to do my degree there. Then to continue from there in East African college or university to further my studies. So I realized that I'm more flexible without even when I teach students, when I speak to people, I don't need to refer or do what. I'm flexible compared to the courses. But at the same time, I found that there were two things I loved when I was young. This is media, this is counseling people. And when I got myself 2020 in media, it did not give me a lot of work to work on. The moment I was in class, I'm taught about this, it was taking me a week. If it's about controlling, that's all. If it's about cameras, that's all. What does that tell you? That is your area. When you have that talent inside you, it becomes easier than a student. We have seen students who have done masters, who have done, I was showing you guys, who have done, is it, yeah, it's you, I was showing, who have done PhD, all those courses. But you cannot give them a camera to operate. You cannot give them a computer to stream. Because that is not their career. What they need is a profession, is their paper. So we are taking our children out of papers to what they need to have and to realize their talents. Because a talent, what the talent can pay, a profession cannot pay you. We have to agree that, but that does not mean that we don't need the education. We need them for the purposes of paper or qualifications. But your talent can take you where your papers cannot take.
But also I would like maybe to add, I think we also need to consider education, because if we dwell on mostly on talents alone, then this kid is going to...
No, that's why I'm saying it is important
he's not even able
to go to
write
school.
a formal letter.
Yeah,
you see.
that's
So
why I say it's important to be in school.
Yeah.
But also as we're in school, that's why actually the CPC has come, that let students learn, because they are learning. But also let us train them in activity so that they will realize their area, they are talented. That's what CPC is doing. It's giving them academic, but at the same time it's giving them an opportunity. That's why TVET came, that a student, if he has come up, and maybe he was not good in academic wise, he can go and do tailoring, carpentry, and all. But the student is not left like useless. Look at our age. How many people have no future because they were not having colleges, because you did not attain C+ or you did not attain C, you cannot be gotten to a university. Going to parallel is very expensive, and that's how their life have been wasted. Yeah. Chantel, what do you think?
I honestly don't have much to say other than just to support what you've said. It's actually true, and according to me, maybe in the future, maybe we will kind of finally adapt to it, because still the 844 system is still there. We'll kind of adapt to it in the future. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. Moving on to the next story. It's a sad story whereby two brothers in Kamulu were lynched. So the bodies of John Karuga, who was 26 years old, and Kevin Kimani were found at the city mortuary last Friday, 5 days after they went missing. Officers from the station rushed to the scene and noticed that there were broken motor vehicle parts next to the two bodies which had injuries. First, the bodies were found with the personal belongings of two men, which means that whoever killed them was not after their valuables. So a trip by those two brothers from Ndeya, Kiambu County to Kamulu, more than 80 kilometers away, last week ended into death. So reading this story is about a brother who went to visit his brother, and then they went to a club, a bar, to watch football match. And then, according to the sources, one of the guards who was taking charge of security in the area cited that the two boys had stole a mobile phone, okay, from the bar, and then after being noticed, the youth dashed out and they raised alarm. So when they raised alarm, the border started to track these people. They went after them, they started to chase them. So later on, when they chased them, they did a mob justice whereby they caught them and beat them up until they died. So it's a very sad story. We relay our condolences to the family. But it still raises this question that are we supposed to take action into our own hands? Is it the right time that we do mob justice to people? If someone was found stealing something from somebody, should we arrest and take them to the police, or should we call the police to arrest them and then investigation are done, or we just take our actions and decide to act into people's lives? Because remember, these are human beings, and in humanitarian reporting, this is not the appropriate way. But looking at the current scenario in our country, is that people have always been emotionless. Like they don't have that. They're not sympathetic, so they just take action into their hands. They kill people.
If you allow me to get in, is that it's not the right thing.
Yes.
For the mob justice to do that.
Yeah.
Or to kill them.
If someone is found guilty of a crime.
Guilty of crime.
Yes.
But at the same time, I think that one is bringing people alert. That why should you go to steal?
Yes.
That if you are going to steal, carry your own clothes. So, if we want this criminals' character to end, let mob justice deal with them there.
But do you think death sentence deserves? Because I think it should just be a punishment to rectify this.
I know to humanitarian and the human rights does not allow that. But now that will be a reason to someone that you have raped, you have come here early in the morning, you're doing all this, and then someone is coming to take away what does not belong to him. You have left your house right now, you have come here, and someone comes to steal from your house. Okay, the law does not allow. Sometimes I've seen police who are there, they say, finish your work, we're coming. When the mob justice is finished, not that police are not aware, because also they're tired every time, call the thieves, because those thieves, even they find police, they will kill them. To me, I will say it's not right. At the same time, I will say let them deal with them there, so that thieves will know that it's not. Let them engage in doing some other things which can give them things in a right way, way.
Personally, I disagree with you in terms of that mob justice, because when you say that we execute it, then we are breeding a society that, in case of any minute thing, sometimes even in terms of stealing, we've seen even in towns, whereby these robbers, these stealers, they always walk in a group. So someone has come and snatched a phone from you. When you try to raise the alarm, when you try to scream, they will all turn against you and say, it's you, any mwizi. And you find that yourself that you are innocent. So if you say so, that we've seen in towns that they even take these tires, they buy petrol, they ban you on the scene from that. I think that we will be breeding a society that is reckless.
I think what should be there,
I don't think
mob justice should take time and they remain there. when they take time and reason the story.
But they always don't listen the story.
No,
They're just
no,
people who are idle. They just
that's what we're trying to say, that if they can reason the story, you explain yourself.
But
But sometimes
there's no
Let
always
me
room
tell
for
you one thing.
listening.
But sometimes they reason.
no always room for listening.
Listen.
Most of
Sometimes
the
they
times-
reason. Me I've found a lot of them. Sometimes they ask you, tuambie ukweli ama simu iko wapi before tukuue. They ask you a lot of questions. When you resist, I've seen many of them anakuwa mpaka almost kukufa, nasema wacha niseme. It's only a quarter who you find that they are in the wrong place. But also, these people wanashikwa na polisi, wanaachiliwa. So mob justice wanaona watatu mazana na wao. Me I will remain there.
No, I kind
what
of
is your take,
disagree.
Oriana?
Actually disagree very much. Let me start small. Let me start small by going back to school to what the kids are usually taught. In CRE, they are usually asked this kind of questions, and they usually ask to do the mob justice thing. Would you call the police? Would you pray for them or something like that? The correct answer is they would call the police. If you decide to follow the mob justice thing, you'll be creating chaos in the society, because if you say like we'll be fixing everything with the mob justice, if somebody steals, maybe you should look at the backstory. You can find a kid is stealing food maybe because the family is on the streets and cannot provide. Would you want that kid to be treated
The
in that manner?
government, should put some sports zones, like in
The
police,
government-
in emergency sports, where our kids should be trained. If things are not working, go there, report yourself. Somebody we have community workers will be given an opportunity to trace, and if they found it's true, you are taken to children's home.
And then
No,
the
that
saddest
is
thing,
not-
the saddest thing
that
that me
isn't before. That is actually at the time. We've not considered all that. This is a kid. The parents, the mom is sick and they are living on the streets. He has nothing to eat. He has found the only solution is just to steal, because he's a kid. Would you want that kid to be treated at that manner? Just because he has stolen?
I cannot say, because the thinking
But
of
you
a person.
said
No,
at
personally-
No,
least
now we have to
should be-
differentiate between the kids, and the old, because a kid. It doesn't
It's still
have a
stealing.
source of like it.
Personally,
Yes,
I'm
it's still
still
stealing,
stealing.
but we can categorize them into levels. Like someone like Collins, at your age, you go to steal. Someone as Rebad, a kid, anything, even in the
but
house.
they
we
say
take-
mtoto mleavo ndivyo akuavi hivi anaanza kidogo
That's why we
kidogo.
don't want them
kuiba.
to be like that, to be taken on the right channels, like in those Red Cross, those children's home and other places, so that they can actually
this
be
kid is
helped.
homeless, and the parents
we have
are
the neighbors. We have
homeless.
the neighbors. We have the, because we have just put like my kid. When you find your kid is in a mess, akiguswa hivi utapeleka huyu mtu kesi na atafungwa. So that's why the community, we used to be the kids of the community. I remember I used to be beaten in 1998, 99. I used to be beaten by any parent if I'm found maybe tumetoka shule and I've not gone home. You are beaten there, and the parent will say ungemchapa saidi, but today unaweza guswa na mtu.
Hapana.
That person atakuwa jailed. So I think because we have just put like my kid, that's why even the community and the neighbors say, okay, it was your kid, let it be your kid.
Personally,
But
me,
I
I don't
don't-
agree, because
yeah.
there are channels of following before you take action into your arms. We have the police, who they will play the investigative role. We can also go to the court if you have the evidence, so that you go and argue there, you petition what you are saying about. So I think these institutions have also been stipulated, they have been set up there to work, to help us solve out some of these things. And the example that I would like to give is that these two boys, the brothers, they just stole a phone and then they were lynched to death. Okay? At the moment, we don't know even what made them to steal the phone, maybe what they were undergoing. We don't know the scenario. Okay? But if they were alive, maybe they were able to tell us. At least with that, it would be we were able to trace the story. And right now, even in Kenya, billions of shillings have been stolen. If a poor person steals, they do mob justice to him. But if a politician steals billions of money, no nini.
Those,
No,
that's why
Mob Justice.
I don't know.
We need to lead them.
There is
Why
this-
are they following the protocols? But to this ordinary mwananchi, we want to take action into our arms. Yeah?
That's why I was
There are
supporting
various leaders.
That's why I was supporting Wajakoya.
Yeah?
If you are
It's ironical. It's ironical.
If you are found, your case ends there. Wajakoya said, if he could have been given an opportunity, if you are found, your case ends there.
Huh?
Yeah, Wajakoya.
But I don't think that's the right reason.
Yeah, those politicians you have stored, you have got. He said that go and be
They're just
hanged.
walking freely here.
No, even when he was if in case he would be the president, politicians would still continue stealing and they would still walk away free.
Yeah.
Because they usually still like, it's like tunawapea, it's like we are handing them the money. And they
That's what you
still
said
walk.
Ruto is stealing to give us now. So we should not
But-
judge him because at least he brings back to us. Do you think this country will change because we allow them like that because they are sharing with us?
But that doesn't mean your judgment of mob justice is okay. It doesn't.
All right,
Because
guys.
that means a lot of lives will end. And it haitakuwa any lesson because there are some people who steal and still get away with it. At least this person who will go to jail, when somebody else sees that, he'll be like, okay, I don't want to spend my life in jail. But if he sees somebody else anauliwa, some people want to die because of the lives that they are living. So what will they do? He will go steal, he'll be killed. That's not the correct. We just leave it to the police.
They do their duties.
They do their duties, but it is because it's better for him or her to be sentenced into many years in prison than just to be killed.
But
over
most of
something.
them, they take lawyers and they're taken out of the prison and a case inaisha.
Yeah, but still there are some people or they'll still be locked in just because it has pesa inaongea.
Hey, now you are talking.
Yeah, pesa
Ndio
inaongea
maana
lakini
hao watu
bado
wameibiwa wanasema hii maneno wacha tumalizane nayo hapa ndio tuone vile itakuwa.
Your mob justice italeta vitu mingi sana. Now
So
people will
according
be
to your
killed
views,
for nothing.
it should not be mob justice should not be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should involve the police. Mob justice will bring a lot of negativity, a lot
Collings,
of
you
war,
also support on that.
Yeah,
tribalism.
personally, we just need to follow. We have the institutions that have been set up, so we need to follow. We are a country to follow law and order, so we need to abide by what is there. We cannot just behave in a reckless society. That's why we went to school. That is why we have lawyers. That is why we have police. That is why we have journalists. So everyone is to play his role. So guys, thank you so much for watching this newspaper review. I've been your host, Mark Collins Ochieng. Let's meet on Monday again on newspaper review. Every morning, your first show here on ROMI TV Africa. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing ROMI TV Africa. You can follow me on my social media pages as follows. Twitter and Instagram is at Collins_KE, while on Facebook is at Mark Collins Ochieng. And I also appreciate my guest for showing up for this show. So you'll give me your parting shots as you also tell them your social media address.
Okay, in all platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and everywhere, it's Oriana Chantel. I would really appreciate the support there, and thank you for hosting me today.
Thank you so much. It was a privilege. Yes, Dr. Soro,
Well,
your parting shot.
Thank you for hosting me today. But one of the things that which I will say that let's be responsible Kenyans and citizens. Let's do the right thing and let's not do things because they should be done, but let's do things because they are in the right way of being done. And also let's know that this nation belongs to each and one of us, and let's know that always do the right thing. You are the one to make that change. Change cannot only be done by all of us at once. Start by that change, then all we will do that. Remember to follow me on all my social media platforms at Dr.Robert at ROMI TV Africa.
Thank you guys for watching ROMI TV Africa. Up next is Chat Spot, where we are going to discuss topics affecting the youth, topics that pertain the youth. Thank you for watching. See you on the next show. Keep watching ROMI. Keep hopes alive. Thank you.
Alright, welcome once again to Desmond Show on What Is Your Story with Dr. Robert. Also remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at ROMI TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro.
So my brother, so you say that you had started this
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.